Hey, welcome back to Turntable Guy, the dual CS505 Mark II or 505 Mark II. In the last video we serviced the motor. In this video we're going to tackle a couple of lubrication issues and one of the major problems with this turntable, which is the motor actuator switch. You'll notice that sometimes you go to play your records, you move your arm across and the platter does not spin. And it's not spinning because the motor switch underneath the turntable is not being turned on. The reason for that, actually I just want to grab a cloth here to protect my arm. Okay, the reason for that is this switch here. This is what tells the arm, or the arm tells this to activate the main motor by pushing in that switch. And what happens is this little E-clip here, I know it's tough to see because it's black on black, but this entire little mechanism needs to be removed, cleaned, and lubricated, as well as this area here. All right, so we're going to do that. And I need a very fine screwdriver to remove that E-clip. I'm going to zoom in as best as I can here. So you can see that. We're good here. That's your, this is the mechanism we're going to be working on right here. Alright, so you need to remove this E-clip. It's good if you have a magnetic screwdriver, that way it doesn't go flying across the room. Alright, and just by removing that E-clip, this whole mechanism will come up now. Just grab your screwdriver, and just pull up. It's on a little post here. Okay, that's how it comes out. Right there. There's a little washer here. Actually, mine doesn't come off. I have seen some of the duals where this washer is actually removable. Mine is not, unless it's stuck on there. Nope, it's part of the table. All right. So the first thing you want to do is grab your Q-tip. Get your alcohol. And you're going to want to clean this post thoroughly. Get all of the factory grease off. It has to be very clean. Also, there will be factory grease between these two pegs here. Clean it all off. There will also be factory grease on this post. Clean it off. Okay, so once you got that cleaned, we can work on this auto return, or sorry, on this switch mechanism. Why auto return came into my mind. Okay, so you have two pieces here, all right, and you got to remember how they go together. But the first thing you got to do is remove the little spring. Okay, so we got a tiny spring here. So just pull that off. It's going to come out no matter what. Maybe not. Maybe it'll stay together, which is good. So leave it there. And now separate these two pieces. Just pull them apart like this. Okay? So there's your two pieces. And what you're going to see here is, again, grease and oil that has dried up. So clean the bottom piece first, paying a lot of attention to this post. You get that all clean. Clean the bottom as well. Okay. And this goes through the top of the turntable. It's part of the speed selector. You can clean that as well. All right, so there's the bottom piece cleaned. Just set it aside. And now you can clean the top piece. Get your Q-tip and run it inside this hole. And clean the bottom side. So get all the grease off. And there will be grease on these two pegs here. Clean them off as well. And there you go. Now, for reassembly, you're going to want to use a little bit of synthetic grease. You don't want to put oil there because it's gonna wash away. So a little bit of synthetic grease. Just a little bit at the bottom here. You put a little bit back on this post. Okay. On the top side, just around this post here. And then grab your piece, your top piece, and make sure springs on top, and just put it back together. Okay? It should move nice and freely. And grab your spring and just wrap it around there. Just like that. There we go. Now, that's the kind of action you're looking at here, okay? Has to be very free. Alright, so now grab a little bit more of your grease, and you're going to want to put it on this post and around the base a little bit. So put that down, and then put your mechanism back in place. Let's go all the way down. You might get a little bit of a pushback from the top here. You just want to push down like that. And that's where you want to be. Grab your E-clip, put it in place, and your pliers, and lock it in. Alright, then grab a little bit more grease. And you just want to put a little bit on here. I don't think it's really necessary, but it doesn't hurt. Okay, a little bit there. And we're going to put just a little bit around this peg here. And that should keep things moving freely. And if your switch wasn't activating before, it's going to activate now. Okay, it will. So just move your arm, check it. You should see that switch go all the way in. Like that. And when that switch goes in, the motor turns on. Okay, now we're going to do some general lubrication on the bottom here. So you get your main pivot point right here. 3-in-1 oil, still drop. Okay, a drop there. You're basically going to want to put a little bit of oil. Don't put any on the ball bearing area here. Okay, you don't need it there. You're also going to want to put a little drop here. One back here. And maybe just a touch here. And that should do it. That should keep everything moving hunky-dory. All right. Great. So that should solve all your issues underneath if you're having a motor issue, okay? As far as switches or whatever. All right. So now let's do a bearing service. All good here. Yeah. Now you can turn your turntable back up, and you guys should know the drill by now on how to clean out a bearing with alcohol. So you're going to want to get in there, clean out your bearing pit, get it nice and clean, get any of the old lubricants out of there because we're going to relubricate it. I did this one a couple years ago, so the oil's in pretty good shape. You're going to grab your sub platter with your main spindle here. Give that a clean. You can put a dab of alcohol if you want, if it's really dirty, okay, to clean that as well. There's no ball bearing in this pit, so you don't have to worry about losing a ball bearing, okay. And what are we going to use to lubricate this one? Dual used a bit of a I think they, in some of their product manuals, they mentioned something about a, was it Albania or was that a Greece? I might be wrong, but they do mention 10W40 for a lot of their lubricants. I'm just going to go again with the non-detergent 30 weight oil, and we'll put in probably, say, 4 drops. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, and just a little bit on the spindle itself here. We're going to drop that in. This one does not like to go down. It if you put too much, as I say this, it falls right down. If you do put too much, you're going to find that this one really tends to stick up. Okay. So there you go. Spinning nicely, fresh lubricants. You can lock that back into place by, oh, this is already loose. This bar here, push it all the way in. That locks your sub platter in. Okay, it's not going to come out now. All right, very good. So what we'll do now, since we've got the table in a great spot, I'm just going to use a clean paper towel. We're going to clean the outside of this sub platter here with alcohol. In the last video, we already cleaned the motor, so clean this area here. Get it nice and clean. No oils on there. Now I know my belt is clean. Again, check your belt for any motor bumps. Okay. You can also look at your belt and see if you have a shinier side, and put the shinier side out. You want the less shiny side here, the duller side, you want that against the pulley here and around the sub platter. All right, so just wrap it around like that. There we go. And you can actually test your turntable now. All right, you can plug it in and it will spin. So plug it in, and we're gonna do speed now. And you can move your arm, and you can see how it's moving. And if you bring it all the way over, it should stop. This is a semi-automatic, but not auto return. It's auto lift at the end only. Okay. When you bring it back, it resets the mechanism, and it'll start up again. That's how it stops. So let's set speed. We're going to set speed now because we have a lot of access to our nut. So I'm going to grab a strobe disc. And I'll show you how to adjust speed. Okay, you might want to put your head shell back on for this because it gives you the weight that you need. If you have a stylus protector, put that on as well. Okay. So try to get your turntable as level as you can here. You have to hold it up. All right. Remember that this pitch adjustment, there's a pointy part on it. You want it pointing straight at this brown piece here. Okay. All right. If you notice right now, it's a little bit slow. So grab your, where is mine? Oh, I put it away. Hang on a sec. Grab your 6mm nut driver, okay? Get on top of this nut, and you're going to want to loosen. So counterclockwise is making it slower. Clockwise. Again, so you want righty-tighty to speed it up, and lefty-loosey, counterclockwise, okay, to slow it down. So I'm thinking that's right on. Maybe it's just a smidge slow. Yeah, like that. There we go. So right there. So you want to turn this nut until you've achieved 33. 45 will be, as soon as you flip the switch to 45, there's no adjustment for 45, it's going to be 45. So you only have to adjust it in 33 and or 45, depending what strobe you have. Okay? And if you just drop your arm like that, you can just check your auto stop mechanism and auto lift. There we go. Works great. All right, put that back on. Remove your strobe. And you have set the speed, done the motor, lubricated the bearings. All right. So now we'll start putting the table back together. And I'll show you how we adjust vertical tracking force and anti-skate, and how we get this all back into the case. I'm going to take off the head shell for safekeeping, and remove some tools here. Don't need any more oil or grease. Oh, I found that extra Q-tip I lost in the last video. All right. All right, so just grab your turntable out of the way. And bring in your case. So you're going to want to feed your wires in through the back. And here's that plug. The strain relief that goes in the back. So you're going to feed these through the bottom hole, pull them through. You ground in your RCA cables. Just get them started like that. Okay. And now we're going to want to drop our plinth back in. So again, you need to grab these two screws here and tilt them in like that. And there are 4 feet on the bottom of your plinth that go right into the spots into the case. Just drop it down. You'll feel it when it goes down. It's springy. And do not. All you have to do is finger tight these. You don't have to. You don't need a screwdriver. Okay. The only time you need to use a screwdriver of these is when you're locking the table down for transport. Okay. All right. So that's in. So now we want to put that RCA screw in that holds this piece on. I'm gonna see if I can show it to you this time. You have to pull it all the way out and then put it back in. Hopefully that's focusing for you. So grab this, get it out, and then there's a slot here that you push it back into like that. Just like that. All right. Grab that Phillips screw and tighten it down. There you go. Now your cables are properly installed and your table's back in its case. And you're ready for further setup. I'm just going to plug it in because we'll do a little sound check. Ground. Okay. All back in. Greasy fingers. Now, we're going to put our platter back on. And I want to show you something. Not too many people say tell you about whether this is a feature or not. I think it has something to do with weight balance. But if you notice, on the platter, there's a hole here. And on the sub platter, there's a hole here. So I always line those two up. Just like that. You'll feel the sub platter drop into place. Okay? So now you got that hole and that hole lined up. And now you can put your retaining clip in. Okay? So grab your clip. It'll fall into place. You want to hold the platter, and now you're going to go righty-tighty clockwise and tighten it down. All right? Sometimes it's tough, but there you go. Now it's all the way in. Okay? And we're going to put our mat back on. Great. So let's put the head shell back on. And we'll balance this up. All right. Now I think I've shown you a dual balance before, arm balance and vertical tracking force with the, I think it was the CS515. Same thing with this turntable. So what you're going to want to do is set your spring tracking force to 0. And your arm may move like this one is. And set your anti-skate to 0, which is at 9 o'clock. Okay, when you move it over, you can do this with the power turned off if that freaks you out. Okay, you're going to want to get this table, or this arm, balanced. So, make sure you drop the arm. There we go. Okay, so you want this arm to be totally balanced. It will swing a little bit. You might have to play with the anti-skating just to keep it from coming back. So right when it's totally balanced, right there, okay, bring your arm back and adjust your tracking force. There's two tracking force adjustments here for conical stylus and for elliptical. This is an elliptical and it tracks at 1.5 grams. This is the anti-skating, so we'll set that at 1.5. And the tracking force is also 1.5. Which is right there. Now, one thing I like to check, I'm going to unplug this because I don't want the motor to start. I like to check how accurate that is. Now, to get this to happen, the arm has to go down, and as you just need to lower the arm, okay, like that. Just put it there for a second. Let's see how accurate the actual dual weight and spring system is. So I've got it set at 1.5 according to the dials here. Let's see. Look at that. Isn't that incredible? An old mechanical, oh, went to 1.51. An old mechanical system like this. Here's a modern digital scale, and it's right on the balls accurate. So if you balance this arm, and you set your spring tension properly at 1.5 grams, it's right on the money. That, my friends, is precision. Precision German engineering. Beautiful. All right, so we got a tracking force set. We have our anti-skate set. We have lubricated the bearings. We've adjusted the pitch. We're not going to play with the pitch control because I don't need it. I've set the speed with that nut. All right, we're going to plug it in and just let it spin so you can cue up a record like that. The arm does not drop. Okay, you'll hear a couple clicks here if you want to hear that again. So as soon as you turn on the arm here, you'll hear it go click and then click, and that's turning on the mechanism. Listen, 1, 2. That's the second click. Okay, so you get 2 clicks, and you're ready to listen to tunes. So let's grab a record here. Set that back. Just like that. A little dusty. So just line up your arm and then flick your cueing, and down she goes. Lovely.
Don't you feel like trying something new? Don't play hard. Don't play for.
Okay, we'll check the auto stop, auto lift mechanism. Whoops, I went a little too far. Should go any second. There you go. It just keeps your, your stylus from sitting at the end of the dead wax there if you forget to, or if you go outside or something, your record's playing, right? So that is it. So we're going to lock our arm, put on our stylus protector. And that, my friends, is the Dual 505 Mark II service. If you do happen to find one of these turntables, I hope that this video is helpful to you. You can also use this on a couple other models that are pretty similar to this design. The model numbers, they don't, I can't remember them off the top of my head, but they are similar in this. Oh, sorry, the 508 is very similar to this. It also has the ultralight arm, and like the 505 Mark I, it has that dual head shell with, it's not a 1/2 inch mount. It's the, I forget what it's called. I think it's the TK521 if I'm right. Sorry if I don't remember, but it's a specific cartridge for dual head shells. You need an adapter to mount a 1/2 inch cartridge. So it'll work for that one as well, this service. So like always, I thank you for watching. I appreciate any comments you have, any questions. I try to return answer your questions as soon as I can. I appreciate whatever support. Tell your friends about the channel. Let them know if they have a turntable that's on the video list so far. I plan to be opening up the doors real soon, probably next week. I will be getting in some customer turntables again. So, and I think I have a Pioneer. It's an old wood body Pioneer. I can't remember the model number right now, but I think I've got that one lined up. I've also got a project coming in for just a really basic service and a cartridge installation. So maybe we'll do that one as well. And I know I have a few more gentlemen who are looking to get their turntables serviced. So should be lots of new videos coming to the channel. So again, thanks for watching Turntable Guy. I appreciate your time. Take care. Bye-bye.